It's Laser 101 Station with the Attitude Super Duper Morning Show. We got a special guest joining us in the building. Got to say good morning to Nicole Erato. Good morning, Nicole. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing well. Thank you.
Yes, good to have you here. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a long time since you've been here on the Super Duper Morning Show. The last time you were here, you were talking about some challenge. I don't remember, but you're always up for a challenge, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
Yeah. So what's been going on with you all these years?
Oh man, lots. I guess since we last talked, as far back as I can remember, I guess I've been doing a lot of racing. I've been doing, I was competing competitively in triathlon and then cycling. And I guess now, we are focusing on paddle.
I see that.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I mentioned before, you've done a lot, especially here in St.Maarten, when it comes to sports and different challenges, especially you like to challenge yourself. I think one point you had a challenge where you only drank water for a few days. There was no food. You do a lot of extreme stuff.
Yes, that's true.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and, why you got into, basically doing things like this when it comes to, sporting and being an athlete and basically, challenging yourself.
Yeah, I think for as long as I can remember, even as a kid, I've always challenged myself. I don't know, I think it's a blessing and a curse, sort of. I have this single track mind, and if I'm going to do something, I do it 100% or I don't do it at all.
Yeah.
And to be very honest, I think it may have, it comes from my upbringing or how my parents brought me up, and I think they just always believed in me, and so they thought, they always said that I can do anything, and that helped me, I guess.
Now, how do you come up with the ideas for some of these challenges? Because the average person would be quit after 2 days, but you say, you know what, if I'm doing it for a week, I'm going to stick to it for a week. If I'm doing it for a month, 30 days and no looking back.
Yeah, like the water challenge, for example, the 21, I did 21 days drinking nothing but water. To be honest, I just had a goal to start, and I think it was 3 days. That was the goal. And as the days progressed, I was learning more and more about it. And then, after I got past the third day, I was like, oh man, fourth day, it's still doable. Fifth day, doable. And I kind of learned that it was possible as I was going for that one. And then by the 21st day, I think everyone was kind of getting worried.
Yeah, right.
And my blood pressure was dropping a lot, and I wasn't very experienced as well. I was just kind of doing it with myself and one other person kind of monitoring my vitals and stuff. But how do I come up with them? I don't know. I think it's just I have a passion for something or an interest in something, and then I just try and make it as big as possible.
All right. Okay. So what was the latest challenge that you done recently completed?
I guess taking on paddle, right?
Yeah.
I guess the biggest one now, the main goal now is that I'm starting pretty late. And Alba, my partner, and I were moving to Spain, and we're going to give 1 year, dedicating 1 year to go professional in paddle. And I come from zero background of any racket sports. I've only been playing for about a year now.
Right.
And I'm going to try and go pro.
Okay, so this is your latest challenge, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. So because I saw it, that's what caught my attention. You were like, listen, I'm going to quit racing. And I was like, huh? Why? What happened? Because I know racing was one of your passions when it comes to, running and triathlons and different competitions and whatnot. And I saw you were quitting. I was like, huh? What's going on? And then you updated a video saying, you know what? I'm quitting, but I'm still sticking to something that I love, which is, being active in sports and whatever. You said, you know what, I have zero background of this. I have no experience, but I'm going to take up paddle, which is a racket sport. And he said, basically, I'm going to see in 1 year if I could become a pro, or at least get in some type of professional competition. I was like, okay, that's an interesting challenge. All right. And what made you decide to do this one? Why not any other sports? Why not volleyball, baseball, basketball, or
Honestly, I never imagined that I would choose this sport because I've always sucked at racket sports. I'm very good at just, grinding and running and cycling and just that kind of activity.
Yeah.
But my partner Alba, she's actually an incredible paddle player, and I have to say she's the one who got me into it.
Okay.
And I think actually paddle is, I think, the #1 growing sport in the world right now.
I've heard that.
It's
yeah.
pretty addicting. A lot of people are getting hooked. We have.
Is that the same as what is this other sport called, like pickleball or something like that?
Yeah, in the States, pickleball is huge.
Okay.
But now, like on the island, paddle is growing a lot.
Right.
Like there are clubs popping up everywhere. There's an XXM paddle court
that's over there in Bel Air. Okay.
Yeah, there's one in Maho, Sandy Ground, and there's a couple other popping up. And I think, it's easier to play here too. It's a lot easier to play paddle here than it is to cycle. We have, it's better facilities. It's
right.
But yeah, I think because of how addicting it is, that's why I'm hooked to it as well. And also,
okay. And now you're moving to Spain. Why Spain?
Spain is like the paddle hub. I think it's where the top players in the world train, and the academy that we're going to go to is like probably one of the best academies for paddle in the world. So that's why Spain.
All right. So when do you plan to leave?
We have tickets booked for the 12th of next June.
Of June. And when do classes start? When does practice start?
We actually arrive on the 13th because it's a long travel, and then classes start on the 14th.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're not going to have any...
Not wasting any time.
Man, you're going to be tired in class.
Yeah, we're going to be dead. We're going to be so jet lagged.
Wow. So you're giving yourself 365 days to see how far you could get in this challenge. Yeah. What's your end goal, basically?
Well, I really... This goal is one goal that I really can't, predict or see the future at all. I think it's something that no one has ever done before.
Yeah.
And so my goal is just to give it my 100% and see where that lands me.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I mean, like I said, you've done a lot and you've documented a lot as well, because you have a YouTube channel. So persons that are interested could always go on your YouTube and see things that you've done in the past and things that you're working on now. Has anyone ever come to you and said, hey, you know what, Nicole, I've seen you doing all these things and you're kind of like an inspiration to me, sometimes I'm down, sometimes I feel like I can't do something, but then you show me different and you uplift me. Has anyone ever said, like, you know what, you're like a role model to them?
Yeah, for sure. Like in the past, I used to document my racing and stuff on another YouTube channel, and I've definitely had people come up to me, and that's what keeps me going, that it's really nice to be able to inspire others to push and challenge themselves and reach goals that are, not seeable.
Okay. All right. So if persons are interested, they can go to your YouTube channel. It's called Peak Paddle SXM. So PEAKPADEL SXM. They could go there. They could subscribe and check out your vlogs. You already have 21 videos.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because this channel is fairly new.
Yeah, we're trying to at least post weekly, a vlog weekly. And yeah, we're documenting everything, like the entire journey from zero to hopefully professional.
Right, like we say in Fortnite, from unranked to unreal.
Yeah.
So that should be pretty interesting. So June 14th, 2026, when that day hits, which will be a year, what happens then? Do you enter a tournament, or it all depends on...
Yeah, so it could happen sooner, it could happen, we don't know, but we did say that we were just going to dedicate this 1 year and kind of see what happens from there.
Yeah.
I think Alba, she's a lot more advanced than I am in the sport.
Okay.
And so for her, it may come before the year.
Okay, so she's going to be part of that challenge as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's more of a challenge for you because, like you said, you have...
It's more crazy that I'm doing it because we all know she's going to make it, And for me, it's kind of like a lottery.
Wow. Okay. But that's what keeps you going, because you're very competitive as well, in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. So we'll follow your journey. Of course, I'm sure you're going to be posting it up on your YouTube channel. Once again, you can follow Nicole at Peak Paddle SXM. Subscribe and like and comment, and make sure you to subscribe, like I said, so you'll be notified whenever she uploads a new video. So can't wait to see your progress and how you do. What's gonna happen to your dogs, your animals? Because I know you're an animal lover and you're gonna be leaving for at least a year.
Yeah, so we got really lucky. It was a hustle and a challenge to find homes for them, but in the end, we found a place in Spain that will allow us to have two of our dogs.
Cool.
So we're gonna travel with two. It's very difficult to find a place that allows pets there.
Yeah.
And then we have a really nice family that will adopt our third in St.Maarten.
Okay, nice. All right. And then after that, your plans are to return to St.Maarten, or it depends what happens.
If we do become super, successful in that year, we probably will stay in Europe because we'll have a lot more opportunity to compete there.
True.
But St.Maarten is always home, so I'm always going to be back, no matter what.
Okay, sounds good. Now, do you have in your mind already a challenge after this one is completed?
No, like I said, I'm just like super single track minded. So right now, all I'm thinking about is this one.
Yeah.
But knowing me, I'm probably going to have another one at some point.
Now, besides the water challenge, do you have any other challenges that you might have been like one of your most toughest, you would say?
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning on the ride over, like, what my toughest challenge was. And I think the ones that are probably most impressive are not the ones that I consider my toughest. Like I've done, the World Championships in Ironman and in cycling. I've done like the Pan American, the Caribbean Championships in cycling.
Yeah.
And those were, tough challenges for me. But I think like the challenges that are the hardest are the ones that you're not prepared for. Those I trained for and I worked for and I, went for them.
Right.
And it took long over the years, but I think one of my hardest challenges was I cycled to the highest point in Thailand. And right now, if I think back at that challenge, I probably could do it easily because I have the training under my belt.
Right.
But when I did it was like when I just started my cycling journey.
Oh, wow.
I had a super heavy bike. I knew nothing really about cycling and fueling and, those kind of things. And it was like an out and back of like 200 kilometers. And then once you get to the base, it was like 40K just uphill to the highest point.
Yeah.
And I remember just doing that by myself and, not knowing anything about fueling and, even the temperatures up there are freezing. So I was like so cold, like almost in tears on the way back because I was freezing on the way down. But yeah, and for me now, probably that wasn't so huge, but in that moment it was big. Yeah. So I think that one was.
Was there ever any time you had a challenge where you said, you know what, this is too much, I think I need to quit?
Let me think. I'm sure there were moments like, I always like train harder than I raced.
Yeah.
So I think some of my trainings that I had planned for myself, I wouldn't be able to like complete often. Like I would just fall off and I think those. But as far as races, I think I managed to pull off all of them.
Wow. All right. If you're tuned in right now, we have Nicole here with us this morning on the Super Duper Morning Show. Very super athletic, I would say, super determined person. And now she has a new challenge in her life that she's taking on. She has no experience when it comes to paddleball. And now this is a challenge that she's taking on, giving herself at least 1 year to see how far she could get and maybe even turn pro. All right. So if you guys want to follow her, what's your YouTube channel again?
It's Peak Paddle. So PEAKPADEL. Peak Paddle and then XXM. At YouTube or Instagram.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much for joining us. Anything else you want to add?
No. Thank you for having me, Suppa.
You're welcome, and much success. Before you leave, I have one more question for you. Facebook.com/Laser101. If you could have any animal as a sidekick, which animal would that be?
As a sidekick?
Yeah. So wherever you go, that's your animal. Whether it's just racing, having fun, if it comes down to getting down and dirty in a fight, the animal is right there next to you. What animal would that be?
Oh my goodness, that's a random question. Man, I wish, I love sea animals, but I don't think they would be able to help me.
Yeah, you'll have a disadvantage on land, but.
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess a dog. I really find a friend and comfort in my dog. And if he would be by my side, I think I would feel
that'd be a perfect second. Okay, what kind of dog do you have, or dogs do you have?
All my dogs are island dogs. So yeah, coconut retrievers.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. You want to shout them out?
Sorry?
You want to shout your dogs out?
Yeah, shout out to Ziggy, Koi, and Taggy.
Thank you again, Nicole, for joining us, and much success, and definitely looking forward to your journey.
Thank you so much.
All right. It's Laser 101 Station with the Attitude. We got much more coming up, so stay tuned.